Hi everybody. So after my post on LinkedIn, so I received a few DM where people were really interested by the process, and because of that, I was thinking maybe it would be better if I make a video. I think that would be easier to explain the process rather than just writing. But I didn't want to explain how I did the gym girls. What I wanted to do is doing another test in order to validate the process and to confirm that I can really control those three camera angles, keeping the outfit, keeping the pose, and keeping the environments, and what else, and the same model as well. So let's start now, and yeah, let's begin. So the first thing I wanted to do is define what I want to do and what type of image I wanted to do. So I went on Midjourney and I created this lake environment. So I did it in this format, like panoramic format, because it's going to be used in order to create the different camera angle. So I use the panning options on Midjourney in order to create this panoramic, and then I just copy it in Photoshop and open the new roll filter, and using the super zoom to increase the size of the image. This filter use like AI in order to keep the definition of the image. So now that I have my background, I have to create the character. And to use the character, I use a software called Daz Studio, Daz 3D. And basically, it allows you to create a 3D model. And you can customize the model. You can, like really change the morphologies and the body type and whatever on the face, everything. You can really create your own character, and this is what I did a few months ago. And I created this character, and she's now with the old pose that I was using for something else. And now I'm gonna go back to the T pose. For those who do 3D, they will know what is it. It's basically a pose that looks like a T. And then I'm gonna change the outfit to go with the landscape of the lake, so something pretty relaxed. And which is good with this software, you have different assets that you can purchase, like clothing and pose. So here I'm gonna change the colors of the short and also the top. Yeah, and also the top, so it matches with the background, which is green, which I think will be nice. Maybe I'm not going to use that. I can even change the color in Stable Diffusion after, so it's not a problem. I'm sure even like Stable Diffusion gonna dictate what color's gonna be. It's most of the time the case. You have a library, a lot of pose, because it's really complicated, because you can just like take every part of the body and change the pose, the arm, the legs, the head, everything. But it's really complicated to match what you have in mind. So there is those library with a lot of different poses that I use all the time. And then obviously you can readjust after when you decide, and then you like a pose, you can just change a few stuff if you need. And yeah, and but this one I wanted to have a pose where we can see the hands, because I like to challenge Stable Diffusion with the hands. It's always complicated, but I don't want to be like all those AI influencers where you never see the hands. And you know why? Because it's complicated. I know it's better on SDXL, but right now SDXL doesn't have all the control nets, so I keep using the 1.5. And here I'm gonna change the facial expression. That's the same, you have like a library of different pose for the face, so you can change the eyes direction, if the eyes are open, I like pretty much everything, like literally everything. And that comes from libraries as well. So you have to purchase things. It's not really expensive. I mean, at the end, it can be expensive if you purchase a lot of stuff. But you know, I think it's cool. And here I can change the direction of the hair, so that brings a little bit more life, especially considering she's outside. Here's my model. I'm saving it and I'm gonna export it for Blender. So there is a add-on plugin you can have in order to export directly for Blender. And so now let's switch to Blender, which is free software and pretty easy to use. So here I already have my scene with my camera, my light, and the cyclo, like the backdrop in a circular way, so I can put my lake there. So now I'm importing the model in 3D. Up, here we go. Usually you have a stuff to do some little bit of adjustment, because sometimes the 3D there's gonna be like some error, like for instance now you can see a little bit of the nipples, which I don't want, and I just have to go to the sculpt mode, and in order to remove that. For those who never use Blender, as I was saying, it's free and pretty easy to use. I mean, you have to do a few tutorials, because the first time you open Blender, there's nothing you can do, because it doesn't work as any other like 3D software. Everything's different, and I was using Cinema 4D before, but it's really different. But then if you like photography, and if you are pretty good in like framing images, is perfect, because you really have the impression to work like as a photograph, because it's really easy to have the final result within the software. So for now I don't have the final result, but you're gonna see now I'm putting in the with the light and like some kind of render. The background you can recognize is the background of the gym, so I'm gonna change it to have my lake. And usually I just drag and drop the image in the material property. So I'm just exporting it right now from Photoshop. I didn't do it before. Up, drag and drop, and I just put the color in the color and the other color in the emission. So basically that's the light that's coming from the image, so it can impact the light scene. Now I'm checking just the ratio of the image in my backdrop. Yeah, I'm not a master in Blender. I mean, I can use it, but sometimes I have to think, because as I don't use it often, I mean all the time, every day, it's sometimes, you know, I lose. Sometimes I will use it like non-stop for a week, and I'm gonna be using it fast, doing a lot of stuff, but then I want to use something else. So for instance, I will not use it for a month, because I have to focus on something else. And you know, there's so many tools out there, and I mean, I don't think there's enough time in one day to fully understand everything, especially with AI, you know, like. So right now I'm just adjusting the background. I'm flipping it because it was not the right direction, and now I'm trying to see what's the right angle. So yeah, and I check if I turn the camera, if it's okay. The reason I'm putting a backdrop in a circular way is to avoid bad perspective, because if it was a flat, there will be a real perspective on the landscape, and I don't want that. I want everything to be flat from the point of view that I'm using. And right now I'm using the light, so I'm just putting the light to trying to match the background. I mean, it's overcast, so it's not a big there's not like big light direction. It's pretty like soft, but I just want to have like a little bit of dimension, so it helps as well the Stable Diffusion to understand the body. So this is the first render of the face view. Yeah, and now I'm taking the second camera. Obviously you have to do adjustment because I want to increase the profile view. So I'm gonna turn the model on the Z-axis so she can be more like on the side. Okay, so I'm gonna render this too. I only render like, so what I do is I didn't say it. I render the image in the size, in the final size that I want them to be on Stable Diffusion. So because of the format I do it, I want to be like a social post, Instagram post size, so 180 by 1 by 1350. But Stable Diffusion doesn't work well with this kind of ratio. So I mean not the ratio but the number. So my number is 816 by 1024. And then after I can still use the upscaler in Stable Diffusion to increase the size as many as I want. I usually do by 4, so you have really good image even for print. So here we go, we have my third image, third camera angle, and now we're gonna be ready to go to Stable Diffusion. So now let's go on Stable Diffusion that I use on local on a PC cloud because it's easier and I don't use my GPU on my computer. The checkpoint I'm using is Photon. I like it because it's realistic, but still there's a little bit of unrealistic and not really. I don't even know how to explain it. But for instance, cyber realistic is really is too realistic for what I want to do. And what else? For the prompt, I already have my my prompt, existing prompt, so I put it on the dock, and so I can just like copy paste. I use LoRa like for my model, but also for the details and some little details, not details but effects, skin effects, and contrast effect. And here is my negative prompt. I use the sampling DPM++ 2M Keras, and I'm gonna charge the control net. So what I did, I didn't explain it, but I like to separate my image with the background and only the character first, because it's easier for Stable Diffusion to see the open pose when there's only the character. It makes it more precise. For the open pose, I use the DW, that's an extension you have to install, and the setting is control net is more important. My second control net that I use is Soft Edge on Pixel Perfect. I use the head. To be honest, I'm not sure about what are the difference. I mean, I tried sometime, but I can't really see an effect. It's gonna depend on the image. There's so many factors that I use this one, it works, and that's it. And for the control net, I use my prompt is more important. The third control net will be for the background. So you see, I don't have the character here. I only have the background. And for this one, I use the segmentation. I change the processor resolution to my 816. I always do like a pre-processing just to make sure everything is okay. Yeah, so you see the different part, and yeah, I'm just checking that my prompt is more important. That's super important. and now I press, and I always check my terminal to see if everything goes well, if there is no error message, everything is loaded. It's just a behavioral, but you don't have to do that, but I like to do it. And this is, I always check one first render, and then when I like the render, I do a batch of 10, because it's never the way you want it. For instance, in my prompt, I want her to have like a white t-shirt, and sometimes it doesn't work. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but you can see that it's not always consistent, and so it's not like for sure 100% sure you're gonna have what you want. You have to do a lot of try, but yeah. So I chose which one. Yeah, I'm still checking. I want to make sure. The good thing is, like if you check the 3D and then you check the stable diffusion render, like you really have a better definition. So to me, it was just like instead of having like a 3D rendering realistic, I use stable diffusion basically. And now I'm using in painting to change the face because it's not perfect. So I don't change even anything in my prompt. I see some people they're just putting like beautiful face. I don't even do that. Obviously you have to click on only masked. I put a batch of 4, and what's important is the denoising. I always put 0.45, and then I generate. So yeah, my font generation, I'm gonna check the one I prefer. It's very subtle, but sometimes you can see the eyes are not perfectly correct, but yeah. So, and when you decide, you go to extra and then you upscale. I usually use 4 by ultra sharp by 4, and that's it, and generate. Alright, now let's do the other angle. So that's going to be the same process. I probably move fast forward. Yeah, because this is the same. So I don't change anything else. What I could do sometime, because sometimes a control net with a pose will work in a way, and then with another pose it won't work. So I always keep the soft edge for the body, but for the background I could use either segmentation, or I could use depth, or even sometime I will use normal. I don't know, I really do, you have to test. Now I thought that segmentation worked pretty well, so I'm gonna keep using it for this one. But I think for the gym girl I used I used depth. Obviously outfit is gonna be the same, but if you look at closely, there's gonna be some difference. I wish there was a way to really control the outfit. I think you could do it by maybe erasing some part of the body and then just keeping for the soft edge, just keeping the top on one control net, keeping the short on another control net, so there is no error like margin for stable diffusion, because it's too precise. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm checking which one I prefer, and just sending back to extra, same. Okay, now we're gonna do the third and last camera angle, same process. So let's move forward. Gave me like a long pants, and I still don't understand, because the controller is pretty, like the shot is pretty visible, and so they should have like a limit between, you know, and then when it does like a long pants, I don't understand. So again, let's do the in painting for the face. I've tried to do in painting for the hands, but it never work. I don't know if you guys have a solution for that. Um, Let me know. But I'm sure I'm gonna have to go to Photoshop and do like some tweak on the hand because it's not perfect. Although on this view is really good, the hand. Let's upscale, and that will be hand. That will be the hand for stable diffusion. So now we're gonna do some color retouching in Lightroom, and because it's just a test, I'm not gonna spend too much time trying to be perfectly accurate between the three images. I know I can do it, and here I don't want to spend too much time, as I said, but basically I'm gonna just do some exposure, contrast, a little bit of changes in the light and the dark zone, meaning increasing the light and a little bit the dark zone as well to give more details. I'm gonna change also the green colors of the trees, especially on the right side, because they are very yellow in comparison to the other one who are more like greenish. What I'm gonna do as well, I did a little bit of retouching on the hand side because it was not good, so I had to retouch. And basically what I did, I just took the 3D and I just took the hand of the 3D and I just blended with in Photoshop. So it's pretty okay. I didn't spend too much time, again, it's just a test. And you can see when you see the three pictures together that they are, I mean, if you look at first glance, okay, they are the same. But if you really pay attention, the ground side is not the same on the three images. The trees on the picture on the center and trees on the picture on the right, you can see that they are not the same. And even the short pants on the right side has holes and like imperfection, which you won't see in on the face and the left side. And apart from that, I think it's pretty accurate. Maybe the sky as well. On the face one is a little bit yellowish, but that could be just like editing things. So it's not due to stable diffusion. So yeah, so that was my process, my workflow, and I know some people might think that is a little bit long, you know, while it's generative AI. So the purpose of generative AI, it has to be quick. You enter a prompt, you click on the button, and then you have your result. But here is, you know, like my purpose was more a matter of mastering, controlling the output. So, and to be honest, the process is not too long. If you compare, like, so let's say to have the 3D maybe will take 20 minutes. Then to do the rendering for the 3D will be another 10 minutes. So let's say 30 minutes for the 3D. Then in stable diffusion, I would say an hour, you know, like by finding the right prompt, finding the right control net to use and how to use them, doing the generation. Let's say even 2 hours on stable diffusion and then maybe 30 minutes in photo editing. So let's say it's 3 hours of total work. If you had to do that without the process, one, without 3D you will never have the result you want. So the only way will be to do a photo shoot. Maybe not on the location, maybe you can find the background on Getty's, on like photo stock, but then you have to shoot the character. So you have to have the light, you have to have a good camera, you need the outfit, you need the hairdresser, you need the makeup, and you need the lights. Maybe you need a studio, maybe you need the time to go to the studio to set up everything. You need the money, and then after you need to blend everything, to do the retouching. So I think it's, like this workflow is much faster, much cheaper. Not perfect, but still. And also, this is something I never saw anywhere on the internet. So I never saw anybody like sharing this workflow. So I'm not sure I'm the only one, but I think a lot of people, when I shared on several Discord, they were very like interesting to know how I did it. So yeah, so that's it. I hope you liked it. And I don't want to say sorry, but I just want to say that I know it's not a perfect video. It's the first time I do that, and then I know my voice maybe probably sound not so good. My English, it's okay, but could be better. And I'm not sure I'm gonna do another video because I only want to do a video with something it matters. Because if I already saw something on the internet, while I will do a video, I will just like send you a link and tell you, oh, you can see the process here. So this is the reason why I did the video, is because I never saw that anywhere, and I hope it is gonna help you or make you understand the possibilities, and also the importance of mastering different tools, because just the AI is not enough to go where you want to go. Maybe later, maybe in a few years, it's going to be full independent, and you can clip it in your brain, and then they're going to do everything you want, because even sometimes you have something in mind, is really hard to describe it, and you have to try, you have to do, and then while you're doing, you change your mind, and everything is just adjusting step by step. So sometimes something you have in mind, and even if the AI will be able to do it, you will be like, yeah, but maybe that's not exactly what I wanted. So anyway, thank you guys, and maybe see you in another video. Otherwise, don't hesitate if you have any comments to share with me, and you can reach out to me on Instagram as well. Everything is in the link below, in the description below, and yeah, see you guys.